but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is not easy, but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS.
All right, hello, beautiful people. I'm a little late coming on today. I was tired. It's been snowing, and I don't know what it is about cold weather that just makes me want to go to fuck to bed. So I've been sleeping, okay, and I've been enjoying it as well. But yeah, so I'm on here a little late, but better late than never. So we're about to get into these different topics. I have not spoken on the Katt Williams thing yet, so I'm going to speak on that. A couple of comments that he made on Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart. I'm gonna kind of speak on some of the things that he said during that interview. Give my 2 to 3 cents on it. And then I do want to go over the names that have been confirmed in the Epstein flight logs, in the documents, the court documents. We're going to go through that a little bit. And then, of course, we'll just go with the flow. If y'all have any questions, any particular things that you want me to cover, talk about, answer while we're doing this particular live, feel free to comment, okay? Sometimes y'all be commenting when I'm doing readings. So now we have the platform where this is what we're doing. So definitely feel free. So I want to start off with the Katt Williams thing. If you don't know what happened, if you are not hip, I really don't know how, but maybe you live under a rock, okay? So just in case you do, let me go ahead and clarify. So Katt Williams, of course, for those who know, is a stand-up comedian or overall comedian, actor, philanthropist. He does a lot with the community. He does a lot privately that, you know, a lot of people know now. A lot of people came out to talk about how he has affected their lives in many ways, different ways, shapes, and forms, whether that be through helping them out in their time of need, whether that be looking out for them while being in the industry, or whatever the case is, okay? Katt Williams has over 19 to be exact and specific, stand-up comedy specials. He has been in the game since the 90s, okay? And he's just an overall dope person. He's a Virgo, okay? So for those who need to know that information. So yeah, Katt Williams is an overall stand-up guy that, you know, as far as what we see, right? We only know what we see. We can only go based off of what we see. But from what we see, he's an overall stand-up guy who has been in the comedy world for over 20 years. And Katt Williams has never really been the type to be in the press. If you know anything about Virgos, they're not going to be outside in everybody's face anyway. That's just not even their characteristic. But specifically for him, he's never been one that was like always outside, or you paparazzi is spotting him in different places. Like, no, he's always been very ducked off, very to himself, very withdrawn from Hollywood. And it kind of seems like he deals with Hollywood as he needs to, like that type of energy. Katt Williams has adopted 6 children, I believe. Between 6 and 7. I can't remember the exact number. I think it was 6, but I'm gonna say 6 to 7 to be safe. And has done a lot for his community, like I said. So over the years, if you guys can kind of remember, Katt Williams has gotten into trouble with the law, from what it seems like, right? He's been locked up a few times, and he'll let you know jail and prison are 2 different things, bitch. He went to jail. He did not ever go to prison, but he went to jail a couple of times. Whether that was for them, trying to get at him for weed, because he smokes heavily, or whether it was whatever else they can come up with at the time to temporarily sit him the fuck down or make a point. Okay, I know that at one point there was a situation that occurred where he was fighting a little boy, and that shit went viral. So there's been different things, from him being in the spotlight and maybe not a nice way or not so good way. But compared to other celebrities, not as much, right? So one of the reasons why this interview that Katt Williams did with Shannon Sharpe, if you don't know who Shannon Sharpe is, he is an ex NFL football player. I forget what team he used to play for. Really doesn't matter. Just know he used to play football. And was really, really good. And he has, of course, a podcast with Chad Ochocinco, which is another ex-football player. But then he also has his own personal podcast, which is called Club Shay Shay. Okay. Which already rubs me the wrong way because I ain't never heard no grown man call himself Shay Shay. 2024. I don't fucking know. Anyways, so Katt Williams comes to Club Shay Shay, which is Shannon Sharpe's personal podcast outside of the one he does with Chad Ochocinco. And he basically comes to spill tea, to tell his truth, his whole truth and nothing but the truth. He basically came on there and said a lot of things that we are about to get into, specifically. Now, a lot of the things that I'm going to say, number one, everything that I'm saying is alleged. I have to say that. Everything is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. None of this is real. I'm just on here talking to talk because that's what I love to do. Talk to talk. And I just be making up shit in my head, and that's why it's all alleged. Okay? So, now that we have that out the way. So some of the things that I'm going to say are going to be a little controversial or a little outside of the normal reactions that you've been getting from this particular podcast episode. And of course, I don't care because y'all know I'm going to feel how I feel regardless. And there was a couple reasons I didn't speak on it yet because I wanted to make sure that I was looking at all sides, and I don't like to speak on shit unless I feel like I can really let y'all know, what's going on. Especially because I know a lot of people watch me and I don't want anything to be taken a certain type of way. So I'm very careful in what I share with you all in regards to my opinions on certain things. So first of all, one of the main targets that Katt Williams kept talking about was Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey, of course, being another, I guess you could say, major comedian in the stand-up world and the comedy world. He is one of those celebrities that we have seen, well, I'm going to say one of those comedians that have gained access to things that a lot of comedians have never gained access to. For example, so a lot of the stuff, okay, I'm going to give y'all, just so y'all can follow, because I know I'm a Gemini and sometimes it can sound like I'm all over the place. I'm going to go point by point that Katt Williams made. So every point or person that he brought out, I'm going to spend some time talking about that person. Okay? So we're all on the same page. So, like I said, the first person or one of the main people he was talking about was Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey has been in comedy probably the same amount of time as Katt Williams, if not maybe a couple years longer, if that, one or two maybe. But they both kind of got started around the same time. And Steve Harvey's career has been very interesting if you know what to look for, right? So if you know what to look for, you will realize that he has gained access to a lot of spaces that we don't gain access to. One of the main telltale ones for me is daytime TV. If you know anything about daytime TV, you have to be a big wig, a big name, a big person, a person who is in a little bit more than the others in order for you to get anything going on fucking daytime TV. The reason daytime TV is so sacredly kept is because of the fact that this is something that people can watch with or without cable. This is standard basic television. If you don't have cable, you still got channel 5, you still got channel 7, you still got whatever other fucking channels, okay? So daytime TV is so important because it is the foundational basics of television, okay? So people all over the world watch, well, I'm not gonna say all over the world, let's mainly talk about the United States. People all over the country watch daytime TV, okay? Whether it's for the news, whether it's for Judge Judy, Price is Right. I don't even know if they still do Price is Right. They probably do. I know they still do it in the South a little bit. Family Feud, all of these different shows are, home to daytime TV. Okay. So with that being said, like if you think about these shows, a lot of these shows had Caucasian host, right? So for example, Family Feud. Before Steve Harvey got Family Feud, the man who was doing Family Feud was there for I don't know how many fucking years doing that damn show. Since I was a fucking kid. Okay. And then all of a sudden, here comes Uncle Steve. Okay. Not only that, but then he also had his own uh daytime talk show, the Steve Harvey show. Okay, now we know he's always had the Steve Harvey morning show, which is on the radio, right? That a lot of us have listened into, where he got nephew Tommy and Shirley Strawberry and all of these different things that we have become accustomed to, riding to school and arising with our mamas, or whatever the case is. Listen to that shit off the E going to work, whatever it may have been. He's always had that platform. But for him to be on daytime television, those are the type of little things that you have to look for when it comes to breaking down Hollyweird. This video is kind of going to be, this whole live, the purpose of this is not only to focus on the things that Katt Williams said, but to help y'all start paying attention to the breadcrumbs. Okay, if you don't know what to look for, you'll miss everything, right? So any nigga that you see on daytime TV, know that he not supposed to be there for real. Know that that's not a natural habitat for that motherfucker. So just like Jennifer Hudson has her show now on daytime TV. Okay. And we all know how her career started and how many people she lost in the beginning of her career. Okay. So shit like that, right? Now this is the thing I want to do a side street real fast with the whole Jennifer Hudson thing. Now a lot of people ask like, okay, if she sacrificed, read between the lines, her family members, why, what did she gain from it? Like all she did was dream girl. She ain't really do that much. She ain't have like this huge big old career and this happened and that happened and da 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 da. What y'all need to understand is how contracts work. Okay, some contracts don't take effect until later on, as well as contracts are deemed viable by the people who participate in them. So if one party is not doing their job or holding up their end of the bargain, then they ain't getting shit. That's just how that fucking goes. So you can do all of the macromycin all you want, okay? But if you are not holding up your end of the bargain even after that, because if you know, after that she did Dreamgirls, and then after Dreamgirls, we barely hear from her, except she had a little music career for a little minute, and she had, a couple number one songs. They weren't number one for very long, but they were number ones, right? And then she disappeared. Now, that's another topic for another day. People disappearing. Well, I'll get to that towards the end of the video if we have time. Going back to Steve Harvey. So the whole point is that you have to give to get when it comes to Hollyweird. Okay. My shit's trying to pause. You have to give to get when it comes to Hollyweird. Okay? When it comes to, I'm gonna call it HW because I don't need them trying to fuck with me today. Getting to HW, you gotta do some weird shit. You have to go above and beyond with these motherfuckers, what you would think that they would want. Okay? A lot of the things that these motherfuckers do to get the shit that they got, you couldn't even conceptualize. And that's kind of some of the stuff I'm gonna talk about. Now, Steve Harvey, of course, had the Steve Harvey show. I think it was called. Um, and he had that infamous fro, okay? Which didn't make sense because a lot of people had been saying when they first got introduced to Steve Harvey when he was younger, coming into comedy, 19, 20 years old, he had a motherfucking hole in the top of his head. Okay, he was already balding in the middle of his motherfucking head. So for him to then get older and his hair get better, it just doesn't make sense. And y'all probably like, okay, who gives a fuck about his hair? It goes to show you the lengths and the lies that these motherfuckers will tell to do shit, to do basic shit. And if you can lie about basic shit, like you paying, and this is from his words, that he was paying his barber, uh, upwards of $2,000 a week to cut his hair while he was filming the Steve Harvey show. Now, what doesn't make sense about that is I don't know if you a dude watching this, or if you a woman who got sons, or if you a woman who got a boyfriend. No nigga is paying over $50 a week. That's even a stretch. Okay, you got some of these niggas that's paying $100 for a haircut, and that's even a stretch. But no niggas paying that much money per week for a motherfucking haircut. Number one, because your hair don't even grow that fast. So how are you getting your haircut multiple days out of the week? Okay, because he said multiple days out of the week because he would be filming. It doesn't make sense because your hair is not growing back that fast, right? So why does he keep needing to cut your hair every time you tape the show? It doesn't make sense. No, what does make sense is if you getting a unit put on that motherfucker every day. If you got a bald ass fucking head and that motherfucker got to come in there and do surgery every day to build you a motherfucking unit. Okay? The motherfucker doing a quick weave in your head every other day. Now that would make more sense to me if they're building this shit from fucking scratch every day because you ain't got no motherfucking hair. That makes sense to spend that amount of money a week. Okay? Because it's time that goes into that, and then that person has to recreate the same image over and over and over. So your hair can't look out of place. It can't look like it's longer today and shorter the other week, and it has to make sense. So to have somebody maintain that, it would make sense for you to be spending that much money, right? Now, one of the biggest things that people don't know about Steve Harvey, again, all of this is alleged. If you know, you know. Steve Harvey, the king of the comedy, that whole thing was rigged from the jump. Okay, these motherfuckers were so jealous of Bernie Mac. Rest in peace to Bernie. So jealous of this man. When Bernie Mac had got his part in, I think Ocean 11, if I'm not mistaken, Steve Harvey literally called the director and tried to take Bernie's part. These motherfuckers did not like him. They did not like him because he was effortlessly hilarious. They did not like him because, and you can just go watch the Kings of Comedy, and see the different reactions to when they was coming out on stage. It's a reason why Bernie Mac would last. It's a reason why a lot of comedians never wanted to go behind his ass. If you know anything about production, show production, nobody on the show wants to be behind anyone who is legendary, because of the fact that once you have a legendary performance, whether it's singing, dancing, rapping, comedy, whatever, the next person is basically being held to that standard. So if they're not funnier, if they're not, if they can't sing better, if they don't sound better, if they're not, getting the attention of the audience the same way that previous person did, then it all falls on deaf ears, right? So they didn't fucking like him, but they knew that they didn't want to go behind his motherfucking ass either. They knew that they did not want to be the ones to try to tell jokes after Bernie Mac got off that motherfucking stage, because I'm sure the mic was melted. Okay? Effortlessly fucking funny. No thought into it. Just talking. and it's fucking hilarious. So they did not like Bernie because of the fact that he was a stand-up guy. He was never a Hollywood type of nigga. Like, all of the people who were really close to him, he was never a Hollywood type nigga. Even when it came down to him doing the Bernie Mac show, it's a viral clip that has been going around for years, where Jordan from the show, the little boy, they was all taking pictures for, I guess, promo for the show, whatever the case is. And the directors tried to get Jordan to sit on Bernie Mac's lap. And Bernie Mac was like, no, like, I'm not doing that. You can go look it up. He's like, no, and made Jordan sit in front of him. Like, he was not for the bullshit. Okay, he was a whole ass OG that he just was not for the bullshit. I think he's from Detroit. No, he's from Chicago. Yeah, he's from Chicago. So OG he just don't have time. Okay, complete old head. So, but was hilarious, naturally fucking funny, literally the GOAT. Okay, the greatest of all time. I don't think personally there's a comedian that was funnier than this nigga. Effortlessly funny. And was a stand-up guy, just an all-around good ass person. So anyway, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, Bernie Mac is who the kings of comedy were. Now, if you think about the phrase kings of comedy, you don't fucking think about Steve Harvey. Like, what are we talking about? When I think about the phrase kings of comedy, I'm not thinking about D.L. Hughley. I'm not thinking about Cedric the Entertainer. No, that's not what crosses my mind when I hear kings of comedy. Those who deserve that title. None of those three people deserve that title. Okay? Especially when it comes out that, Cedric was stealing jokes, Steve was stealing jokes, and D.L. Hughley just never really been all that funny to me. So these people had, real competition from a man who was born with the abilities that they wished that they had, who was born with the ability to capture the audience like they wish that they had. And because Bernie started to get more jobs, more access in Hollywood, and I have to say this, no matter how good the person is, in order for you to gain access in Hollywood, there are certain things you have to do. It doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice nobody. It doesn't mean that you have to give up your booty hole. But there are things that you have to do, okay? Regardless, whether it, whatever they feel like they need you to do to get whatever it is you're trying to get, that's what has to happen. So anybody that you see in Hollywood has done something in order to stay there or get there. Please don't ever forget that. I don't care how much of your favorite they are. It just is what it is. The more successful they are, the more shit they had to do. That's just what it is. But because Bernie Mac was such a stand-up person, he never got into the children side of things. Catch my drift? And from my understanding, I don't know about anyone who he may have macromized. Okay? So I'm not sure. I know for sure he's done something. You have to do something. In order to get a show, in order to have a lot of the, the things that he had, you got to do something. But I don't think he took it that far where it would be something vile. You know what I'm saying? So apparently this is the story according to videos that I've seen, that I've watched, of bodyguards, of people who were around during the time, and whatever else, the case may be. And a lot of them are convinced that because Bernie went to a Hollywood party. He's been invited to lots of Hollywood parties, but he went to one in particular where he saw what they were doing to children. And it rubbed him the wrong motherfucking way. Mind y'all, he's always talked about how he was taking care of his nieces and nephews. He literally made a whole show based on him taking care of his motherfucking nieces and nephews. So he didn't play about kids. He didn't play that weird shit with kids, and he had his own children. So he just wasn't with the shits. But he went to this party. He's seeing some of the shit that was going on, and he went back to the alleged kings of comedy. And basically told them, like, we gotta say something, we gotta do something, something needs to be done, whatever, whatever. And these motherfuckers basically voted him off the island. Read between the lines. Um, it's said that he passed from pneumonia and issues caused by pneumonia. However, if you know HW Hollyweird, then you know that they have all types of technology. And one of the main things that they use or can use, or some of the main things that they can use, number one, they can implant chips into people. These chips basically work along with your nervous system. So your nervous system controls basically all of the movement, all of the functions of your body. You won't have, your heart can't move if, your nervous system isn't helping it. Your body just cannot do what it needs to do if you don't have your nervous system, to supply it the energy that it needs to move, to beat, to work, to do whatever its particular function may be. And they have these chips that they can implant, allegedly, that will alter your nervous system and can cause ailments and issues from the body. They also have pills that they can give you. You think you're taking medicine and they really putting something else in that shit. All types of, they have all types of shit, okay? All types of shit. So him having pneumonia doesn't really make sense. I watched a couple interviews of his daughter talking about like his final moments. And particularly, she talks about how 1 minute he was good, and then he had like an episode where, you know, um, they basically had to revive him and get him back, to a good enough standing. And one of the main things that he said before he passed was, "I'm dying." Like, he knew that it was over. He knew that they was coming for his motherfucking ass, unfortunately. And, they were successful. So that's one of the main reasons why Katt Williams kept saying, "I'm doing this for Bernie. I'm doing this for Bernie." Because Bernie is one of the ones who knew about the weird shit going on in Hollywood, knew about, these motherfuckers fucking with people, essaying people, assaulting people, raping people, all type of weird shit, eating people, so on and so forth, and went to the people that he thought he could trust, and they chose money over him. And if you look at their careers, those particular people's careers after Bernie's passing, a lot of them had increases in their careers. Specifically, Steve Harvey, as I went through before. So that's definitely one of the things that a lot of people know in the industry but kind of keep hush hush, allegedly, which is why a lot of people don't fuck with Steve Harvey. Or if they do, it's because they on dick and they basically off the same type of time he on. Now, another person that they brought up, of course, was Kevin Hart, right? Now, Kevin Hart is what a lot of people will call an industry plant, okay? And let me really quickly explain to y'all how industry plants work, because a lot of y'all feel like I've talked about Megan Thee Stallion before, and a lot of people was like, "Oh, I went to school with her." I'm like, okay, like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what? Do y'all know how industry plants work? So a lot of people think that when we say industry plant, it means that they came into the industry and then they were assigned the job to be a plant. No, babe. Industry plants are born, not created. They are born. They birth motherfuckers to be plants. The same way they would, other countries will birth motherfuckers and train them to be spies from birth. It's the same shit, okay? The Truman Show. Y'all see if you watch the Truman Show, he didn't know what the fuck was going on because he was born into it. He didn't fucking know Adam from Eve because this is his life. This is all he's ever fucking known. So a lot of these industry plants are literally planted in regular ass neighborhoods so that people can be like, "Oh, I grew up with this person. Oh, I have pictures with this person. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that." Now, a lot of them are raised in the opposite sex. One thing about Hollyweird is most of the motherfuckers that y'all think is women are men. And most of the motherfuckers y'all think is men are fucking women. And I can give you a couple things for those who are interested. Let me know in the comments a couple ways that you can start telling the difference. Because there's certain things you just cannot fucking hide about your anatomy, which is what we be trying to tell motherfuckers. I don't care how many good surgeries you feel like you got and how big of an ass you feel like you got and you purchased. Don't fucking matter. There's certain things that women's bodies do that men's bodies just don't fucking do. There's certain things that women's bodies do that men's bodies just don't fucking do. And vice versa. I don't know if I said it the other way around first, but whatever. One of the most telltale signs, and you can check right now, is women, we have a very flat forehead. I'm trying to turn to the side so y'all can see. It's flat. Okay, it's very flat, and we have a wider forehead because of the fact that our skulls are smaller than a male skull. So men have bigger faces because they have bigger skulls. They have bigger heads. That's why a lot of niggas got big ass heads. Whether it's a peanut head or not, it's still usually a massive ass head because they got bigger skulls. So we have a lot of forehead space. We have more forehead space than a lot of men do because of the fact that our skull is small, so all of our facial features are compact within this space. Men's faces are a little bit more spread out. Like, that's why their eyebrows are a little higher, and they always have the bomb ass eyebrows because their eyebrows are literally sitting higher on their head where they can naturally just curve. And they also have like a bump. It's like a indent in their skull at the top of their fucking skull. There's nothing you can do about that shit. You can't shave that down. You can't get rid of it. It is what the fuck it is. It's like a little extra piece of a little hump at the top of their skull. So if you're around a dude right now, look at the top of just look at this part of his head. Okay? Or wait till you get home or whatever the case is. So that you can see I'm not tripping. Look at the top of your head, feel the top of your head, and then feel the top of your nigga head or your son's head or whoever's. It don't matter. Whether they're a baby or not. You have the same skull you had since you was a kid. The only thing is it got a little bigger to fit your body. That's it. But those are a couple of simple ways. The other way you can tell is women, the anatomy of our bodies are naturally different because of the fact that we have to carry children. Damn, I don't want to have to stand up for this, but I might have to show y'all. Basically, women, our natural hip, okay, is not at the hip part. It's a little further down. Let me kind of show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, so if y'all can see, our hips kind of dip, and then the hip part is down here. Okay, it's further down here where our hips naturally are. Now you can tell when they got these BBLs and they are what they call inverts. That's what they call them, inverts, because their hips start up here. Real women's hips don't come out up here. That doesn't make sense. Our hips naturally spread lower at the bottom. Okay? So those are just a couple little telltale ways that you can kind of pay attention, especially because a lot of these motherfuckers be in swimsuits and shit like that. Start paying attention to these motherfucking swimsuits. Start paying attention to where their hips fall. You can tell if they had surgery because their hips are put in a place that is not normal, right? Because our hips, again, are made so that a baby can come through. Whether you have a baby or not, it doesn't fucking matter. You're built with the equipment to do what you need to do, whether you choose to do it or fucking not. So our hips are different because of the fact that we have children and we have to have space in order for the child to pass through when the body naturally starts to rearrange itself for that process. So we have to have that space. Another thing is our abdomens are naturally tilted. This is why a lot of women, we think we have a fat stomach or gut problems, which we may have gut issues, and you can, lay off the fries and the burgers a little bit. But regardless of the fact, we have a tilted pelvis. Again, this is for childbirth, right? So our pelvis is more tilted out. This is why when women stand, we have that natural curve in our back, because our spine isn't necessarily tilted, but because our pelvis is tilted forward, we have that curve in our back. If you look at a man, they just straight up and down in the back. They don't have a deep curve like that because their pelvis isn't tilted. This is why men have that flat ass stomach. And we be like, damn, why we can't have a flat ass washboard ass stomach like that? Because baby, that's just not your tea. That's just not your tea, okay? And the women who you do see with these flat ass stomachs, if they're real women, they still have a tilted pelvis. Regardless of the fact that that stomach is flat or not, tell them to stand to the side. If you see their ass from a side view, it's gonna look like this. Men look like this. Women look like that. Men, women. Okay? So that's just a couple of ways that you can kind of tell. I mean, there's other ways to tell, but it's more intricate, and I mean, it'll take some time for you to kind of figure it out as you go. Men walk differently. Men pick their whole leg up when they walk because of the fact that they don't have a tilted pelvis. So because of that, they have to pick their legs all the way up in order to walk, which is so their knees bend a little harder, okay, than a woman's would. Also, women, we don't have a gap in between our legs. So if a woman's standing with her legs together, there will not be a gap up here. It may be a gap towards the bottom, right? But men have a natural gap in between their legs, and it look like that, right, in between, because they got balls, they got junk down there, and because of the shape of their pelvis. So, anyways, it's a lot of different ways that you could tell. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, by calling out some of these inverts, but I'm just gonna say it like this: most of them are. Okay, the majority of them fucking are. They're fucking inverts, and they have mastered. You gotta think about it. The first transsexual surgery took place in the 1920s, 1930s. So we think a lot of this shit is just now happening, and oh, people are just now getting sex change surgeries, or how can they be inverse? How could they be, really one sex and present, another sex, and we just got this technology. We ain't just get shit. I keep telling y'all, nothing is fucking new. Anything that they give us, they've been had for years. Okay, they do that on purpose. They don't want you to be as caught up as they are, because then you can catch up and surpass them. They don't want that. So all technology, medicine, all type of shit that the average person thinks didn't exist until a certain time period, it did exist. Okay, and does exist in an even more technological way. Okay, even more advanced than it was before. So because of that, a lot of these people are not the gender that you think they are, and this is a part of the whole. A lot of people never knew what Victoria's Secret was. That's what it is. Okay? The secret that Victoria has been keeping is that most of the models are men. All right, that's just the best way I could put it. That's the fucking secret of Hollyweird. That's the secret, that most of these motherfuckers are not the sex that you think that they are. So when we seen shit like Beyonce fucking stomach fold the fuck up, now it makes sense as to why she would even put herself in a position to wear some shit that's fake instead of just getting pregnant. Fucking simple. It would make sense as to why some of these celebrities get surrogates. It would make sense as to why, a lot of the celebrities that we knew from jump were men, like Sierra, allegedly. We knew that shit as kids. One thing about kids, you can't lie to a fucking child about who's who and what's what. Like, a kid is gonna be like, that's a dude. Now y'all can sit here and play games all you motherfucking want, but that's a boy, Damon. I know what the fuck I'm looking at. And when we was kids, we knew that hoe was a man. We knew it. The only reason why we let that shit go is because they started to go overboard with making sure that we changed our minds in regards to the way that we thought about this person. right? So, I mean, to name a few, Beyonce, Rihanna, Serena Williams, shit, most of them. I mean, honestly, most of them. And then the ones that you think are men are fucking women. They literally have switched. Like, they switch. And you got to think about it. Like, they can take, I don't know if y'all have ever seen a person vlog their journey, like taking testosterone or taking estrogen pills. Like, your voice can lighten up or deepen, where, you know, based on what you take in. You can either grow hair or start to lose facial hair or hair, period, depending on what you're taking. You can build muscle mass or lose, you know, not really lose your muscle mass, but, you know, make it look different, you know, based on surgeries, based on different things that you're doing. There's so many ways that they have learned to finesse the system. And if you go back and you look at a lot of these pictures from back in the day, the 90s, the 2000s, even before that, like the 80s, the 70s, I mean, you can go back as far as you want to. If you go look at them motherfucking pictures, you can tell that most of these people were men, especially the Caucasian people. Now, it was a little harder to tell, you know, with black people, just because of the simple fact that we just have different features. But you could see them big ass men, okay, in dresses. So be for real. That's why they pushing this whole agenda. Now, of course, there are people who knew nothing about this agenda that naturally, I'm not even gonna say naturally, but felt the need to go and do whatever they want to do to their body. Okay, cool. But we're speaking about them pushing this shit, them purposely trying to force it and shove it down people's throats. It's all by design. This is why we say that that shit is purposeful. And it's a motherfucking agenda. And people be getting mad like, oh, people were born that way. Like, shut the fuck up. It's a motherfucking agenda. They literally have put shit in the food to raise the estrogen levels of men so that these men can be out here acting like fucking women. They literally put shit in the motherfucking food to fuck with women's estrogen levels so that we can get sick, so that our babies come out with autism and all types of shit is motherfucking going on. Or we have a fucked up mentality. It starts to change the chemistry of your brain and all type of shit. They put it in your makeup. They put it in your perfumes. They put it in your lotions. They put it in all of the shit that you would normally use. Your candles. Y'all love Bath and Body Works candles. You better stop fucking burning them bitches. Them are some of the most toxic ass candles you could fucking burn on the market. It's the reason why they selling y'all them candles for $10 motherfucking dollars. It's the reason why they selling them candles for $10 every other couple weeks, because they want to get that shit off. Okay? So just be careful. Like, I know it's redundant because a lot of us, you know, spiritualists be saying the same shit to y'all, but just think about it. If we all saying the same shit, it's for a fucking reason. Like, 2024 is going to be one of those years that you'll benefit if you pay attention, and you will lose if you don't. It's just that fucking simple. And everything is being put in your face so that you can make the best decision. Now, whether you take up, you know, your position and make that decision to move forward in the best way or not is up to you. But you can't say it's because you didn't have access to the information. You can't say it's because nobody tried to tell you. That's cap. Okay? So getting back to, you know, the whole Hollyweird situation, Katt Williams talking about, you know, a lot of the things that he have seen. This is why they was pushing, you know, a lot of them getting in dresses. It wasn't just because they was, oh, we're trying to emasculate. It's because a lot of these motherfuckers were women, and that's their way of playing with your ass and saying, hey, look at the woman with the dress on. And you're like, oh no, that's a man with a dress. Oh, they're emasculating him. No, that's a woman with the dress on that looks like a fucking man. Okay? Weird as fuck. Alright, so quickly I want to go over this Jeffrey Epstein list. This is the confirmed list so far that we have, with all of the paperwork and stuff that has been released up until this point. Of course, there's more to be released up until the 22nd. Yeah, I think the 22nd is when they finally release whatever big thing they've been holding on to. So they've been releasing little stuff little by little. I think, I mean, of course it's purposeful to me that they're taking so much fucking time doing what they're doing, but It is what it is. Okay. So the people who have been confirmed to be on the island, because there have been people. Let me explain these documents real fast to some of the people who just don't know what the fuck is going on. Epstein's documents are being unsealed by the government. If you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, he is basically he was the face of a major pedophile ring that was taking place in the entertainment industry in the world. Okay, when I say entertainment industry, I mean politics, I mean TV, anything that will entertain you, whether it's governors, ministers, pastors, actors, actresses, models, anything entertainment. Y'all gotta think of, when you think of entertainment, don't exclude the news. Don't exclude, those type of things. Don't exclude that shit. That's also fucking entertainment. So he basically had a pedophile ring that he was running in this space. His handler or his girlfriend was Ghislaine Maxwell, who is a dude. Don't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure that out. So is Michael, aka Michelle Obama, allegedly. Okay, is a motherfucker dude. And y'all was trying to eat my ass up. I remember when I first said that shit in 2020. Woo, baby. The way y'all be riding for motherfuckers you don't know without researching is fucking ridiculous. You could just look at that motherfucker and see that that's a grown ass man. You just need to know what to look for. Another thing is the collarbones. Y'all see how my collarbones are? They kind of have like this, it's almost like a V. Women's collarbones are like a V. It meet up right here. So, I'm sorry, right here. Right? It goes like that. Men's collarbones are straight. They don't go like this. They go straight across. Okay? So, pay attention to these motherfucking collarbones. Anyway, so yeah, Jeffrey Epstein allegedly unalived himself after being arrested in whatever prison he was in. Now, one thing that don't make sense about that shit is the prison that he was in was not just your run-of-the-mill, oh, we're gonna throw you in a cell like they did Chris Brown and Katt Williams. No. This was a maximum fucking prison, okay? Where they're watching your ass 24/7. So the fact that he can hang himself allegedly in a fucking prison, that these motherfuckers have never had any suicides happen because of the fact that they're so on top of their shit, don't make no fucking sense. That's how you know it's some spooky dookie ookie shit going on. So anyway, confirmed to be in the documents. Just because you see a name in the documents doesn't necessarily mean that they went to the island or that they participated in pedophilia. Okay? Doesn't mean any of those things. Some people were just mentioned just to be mentioned. Some people were mentioned because they went to his actual residence, not the island, but to his home. Some people were mentioned because, some of the victims had seen these people. So this is why you got to kind of read through it so that you know the context of why these people are mentioned in these documents. Okay, and I'm going to kind of go through some of it. So Prince Andrew is one of the ones who was mentioned for going to the island and was mentioned by victims as being one of them. Okay. Bill Clinton also. Trump was mentioned, but Trump was only mentioned going to Jeffrey's residence in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And when they asked him if, he had ever participated in any, in anything when it came to minors or younger people, the victims said no. They said that they had never done anything with him or never seen him when it came time to doing that type of stuff. They also said, once he found out what Jeffrey was doing, he completely cut ties with him. And this was back in like 2006 or 2008. I forget the dates. But you can go look into that for those who want to. Hillary Clinton ass was on that motherfucking island. David Copperfield was on the island. I'm gonna say the ones that I know that you guys know. Leonardo DiCaprio was on the motherfucking island. Al Gore was on the island. He's a former vice president. Stephen Hawking. Now, Stephen Hawking, if y'all know, is a motherfucker who can't even do shit. Okay, but he's on the island with his motherfucking RoboCop ass computer, being a creep. Somehow he like to see midgets undressed. Now, midget is keyword for minor. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you go and you read any of that shit, he's not talking about actual midgets, because why would that be a crime? If they grown, who cares if they're a fucking midget? There's midgets in the porn industry right now, and it's not a crime, right? So y'all gotta know, y'all gotta follow the context clues. Y'all gotta know the keywords to pay attention to. But this motherfucker's a creep, and can't move. You know how creepy you gotta be to be a creep and can't move? You focused on the wrong shit. You focused on the wrong shit. Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson never went to the island. He went to the home, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin Spacey went to the island. Naomi Campbell went to the island. Bruce Willis went to the island. Cameron Diaz went to the island. Let's see who else y'all would know. Chris Tucker went to the island. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Let's see who else y'all would know. Some of these people are like from other parts of the world, because like I said, this is the entertainment industry, period. So it's not just US entertainment. This is the whole shit. Okay, these motherfuckers is working with people in the UK and working with people, in China and over here and over there. Okay, so it's a lot of random people that are going down with this shit. Let's see who else. Now, real quick, there's a difference between the flight logs, the client list, and people who went to his home, right? So everybody that went to his home, his personal, one of his homes in Florida, may not have been or ever been to the island, right? Now, some people did do shit at his home with minors as well, right? So you just got to know based on the court documents who did what for real. Now, the difference between the flight log and the client's list, the flight log just means that you were on his plane at some point going somewhere. Doesn't necessarily mean that you went to the island. It doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't go to the island. It just means that you was on that motherfucking plane going somewhere at some point. Okay? Now, the client list, that's the golden ticket, because the client list are people who he was in business relationship with, getting these children off. These are motherfuckers who specifically asked for minors. These are people who literally, it's like having a client list as a hairstylist or as a nail tech. Okay, these are people who book with you on a regular basis. Okay, so the client list is the smoking gun. That's what I'm waiting to see the full documentation for, is that motherfucking client list. That flight log is cool if it shows that they went to the island. If they didn't go to the island, unless a victim came forward and said that they did something, they probably did do nothing. If they just, took a flight with him somewhere, or took a flight with him to one of his houses that was here, it just really depends, okay? That's to kind of help some people understand, because I know some people's getting confused between the flight logs, the client list, and which one is really tea. The client list is really tea. The flight logs is cool, again, if their destination was the island. But if the destination wasn't the island, the flight logs really don't do too much, unless there's a witness that says otherwise. Let's see who else is on this list that is confirmed so far. And again, just because they may not be on this list right now, like I said, they're still releasing documents every day. Literally. You just gotta be tuned to fuck in and know what the fuck going Those are really the main ones right now that we would know. Um, I don't really see any other people on this list that the majority would know. There's like prime ministers and like people like that you just wouldn't know, or literal ex traffickers that's listed that we just wouldn't know. They just have their names. So a lot of us are waiting for the client list because we know that's where the bigger names are. Your Yonsei allegedly, your O Network lady, you know, your Yonsei's husband or wife. So yeah. So um the most I can say, honestly, there's really no way to prepare y'all for this year. I've been doing a lot of meditating on what to expect so I can kind of prepare myself so that I can prepare y'all, because that's my whole point of doing this shit, is so that it's not for me, because if I can be prepared all I want, but what the fuck is the point of me getting on here and talking to y'all and then letting y'all be out here looking crazy? That just doesn't sound right to me. So my whole purpose of coming on here is not to make you dislike your favorite celebrity or whatever, but it is to make you question why the fuck you like these people so much. Given the fact that they could be connected to something, it does. I do want you to question the people that you do support. I do want to question the people that you are giving your money to, giving your support to, giving your time to, giving your ear to, giving your heart to, giving your attention to. You really do need to pay attention, because this year is going to reveal a lot, and it's up for you to see it for what it is and to react accordingly. There's a lot of people who are going to be very, 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 very disheartened when they find out, a lot of their favorites are connected to this shit. Extremely. It's going to be very disheartening. And I get it, because a lot of us do have people that we look up to. I don't want to say idolize, because I personally don't idolize a fuck ass person but myself. But there are people who do, give us inspiration, and people who, we resonate with because of the similarities of life experiences or whatever the case is. But we got to also know where to draw the line. These people don't have anything positive for you. Everything that they do is for themselves, and you have to understand that. Like, even with the whole Taraji P. Henson coming out and saying what she says, it's like, babe, Orlando Brown said it the best, and Orlando Brown just did a fucking interview too. Now, why do y'all think Orlando Brown, sidebar, always be calling Jay-Z and Diddy his aunties? Okay, remember what I said. Inverts. Anyways, but he said it the best. You can't want to be an alpha or a kappa or want to pledge and then get upset when they start hazing you, because that comes with the process. You can't, want to do certain things and then you get into it and what comes with it, and then you complain about the very things that you signed up to do. You just can't do that. That's why I don't have any sympathy for celebrities. I appreciate truth telling. I appreciate them putting us up on game. I appreciate them disclosing information. I definitely appreciate Katt Williams for doing what he did. But you don't get 19 specials and don't do nothing. You don't have specials on Netflix year round and you're not doing anything. This is why Monique was blackballed. Monique was trying to do her Netflix special. She up there with Katt Williams. Monique is probably one of the greatest female comedians of all time. Let's just stop playing with her. Let's really stop playing with my girl. Okay? Beloved. Okay? Stop playing with her. She has been consistent. And the only reason why she fell off is because of Hollyweird. She wasn't trying to do a lot of the shit that they wanted her to do in order to get the stuff that she felt like she deserved. So she didn't get her Netflix specials. So you got to take everything, with a grain of salt. Like, Katt Williams is a stand-up guy. I really think he's a good person. I really do genuinely believe he has a good heart. But like I said, you don't get 19 specials not giving up nothing, not doing anything for the people who are giving you the platform to put your shit on. Now, it would be different if he created his own platform and all of his stuff is available on his own platform that he controls 100%. That would be different. But baby, your shit is on Netflix, YouTube, this place, that place, this place, that place. You don't get to just put your shit on my shit and I not get nothing out of this motherfucking deal. That's not how that works. And a lot of the stuff he said was kind of contradictory. Like, one of the things that he said that stood out to me, it was two main things. The first one was he said, yeah, in all of my years of doing stand up, I ain't never have to, do no radio interviews to promote my shit, and I ain't never have to do this. I just put my tour dates out there and people support me. That's cap. If you ever watched a Katt Williams stand up, what is the thing that he's doing in the beginning? Going to fucking radio stations. It's literally in the fucking stand up. Like, I don't know if y'all, and all of his stand up, they're my favorite ones to watch. I can watch all of them over and over and over and laugh the same way I laughed the first time I fucking seen it. Amazing, brilliant, hilarious. But what we're not about to do is act like you don't have whole ass footage in the beginning of your stand up specials of you sitting in a radio station. What the fuck? Like, you're not about to just go past that. Like, you ain't say what the fuck you just said. Right? Second thing is, he was talking about how all these people had to do gay roles or gay things in order to get roles or be in dresses and things of that nature. Well, have y'all seen First Sunday? What the fuck role was that? You telling me that he was a straight man in First Sunday? You want to look me in my motherfucking eyes right now and tell me that Katt Williams was a straight man in First Sunday? Did you watch it? I mean, you could watch the bloopers of fucking First Sunday and see that he wasn't no straight man. So again, you have to take everything with a grain of motherfucking salt, because these people are, even he told you the biggest thing, that the main focus of anybody who sold their soul is to convince you that they didn't do it. He told you that, right? Every time you hear somebody say facts, or things that may be factual, don't think that it don't apply to them just because they said it. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that they are exempt just because they're the ones that's coming out and spilling the tea. Half of the ones that come out and spill the tea are the ones who have been in so deep into the shit that they have seen the things that they've seen. There is no way that Katt Williams has all of the knowledge, the information that he has on Hollyweird. There's no way that he has seen all the things that he has seen. And these people have not either cloned him, fucked with him on a great scale, made him do something or whatever, okay? Because you don't just get to talk. That's not how that works. If y'all know anything about Isaac Kappy, rest in peace to him, was he was in the film industry. He worked with a lot of actresses, a lot of actors, because he was, in film. And he was one of those Caucasian people that was disclosing everything about everybody. He was the first to say a lot of these people were child lovers, I'm gonna say it like that, and things of that nature. And I don't even think he made it a full 2 months before they threw his ass off a bridge and called it suicide. So you don't just get to talk. You don't just get to, say what you want to say, do what you want to do, move how you want to move when it's their shit that you're moving in. That's like somebody coming in your house and just saying whatever the fuck they want to say, regardless of if it's facts or not. You still not about to talk to me a certain type of way in my shit. You still not about to treat me a certain type of way, and you're benefiting off my shit. And that's how these motherfuckers work. They don't give a fuck about Katt Williams' money. That's chump change. That's chump change. And Katt Williams is not even the highest paid comedian. So they don't give a fuck about his money. They could care less about his couple $1,000,000 or his philanthropy acts, giving niggas a couple $1,000s here and there. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Katt Williams don't have the money to pay these niggas to get the fuck off his ass. He don't have the money to pay nobody to stay off his ass. Money doesn't exist to these motherfuckers. They control it. So why would they care about something that they control? They not losing no sleep. they not missing no meals. And they can give a fuck because they got somebody else that they can create to be exactly what you trying to say that you're not gonna be. Which is where you get Kevin Hart. You get people like Kevin Hart, who can come to Hollywood and have a show immediately and have a stand-up special immediately, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then a fucking other one. Kevin Hart also got into that major ass car accident that killed everybody but him. And I don't know if y'all seen that motherfucking car, but there ain't no motherfucking way he survived that motherfucking car accident. I don't know who the fuck they think we are, boo boo or the fool. But ain't no way that motherfucker walked out of that car accident with his life. There's no motherfucking way. That shit was smashed. Okay? So when you don't want to do what they need you to motherfucking do, they gonna find a way to still profit off of your motherfucking ass. Which is why you cannot convince me that Katt is out here with clean hands. You can't have clean hands and 19 specials, babe. Sorry. Can't convince me of that. And one thing about Katt Williams is he's such a good talker. He's a Virgo. He's so knowledgeable. He's so good, you know what I'm saying, talking with his words, with his enunciation of his words, with the words that he used, with the layout and the presentation of his speeches. Like, he knows how to talk. Okay? But a bitch like me see through that. I know. You can't finesse the finesser. It's not gonna motherfucking work, bitch. I talk for a living. I am a Gemini. There's not much more talking than that. Okay? So you can't motherfucking play me. And one thing about it is it just doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. You don't get to be in that position with all of the things that you have on your own merit. It just doesn't work. They will blackmail your ass. How many artists do we know have been making music? They never stopped making music. But when the last time you heard music from their ass? Exactly. So when they blackmail you, when they want your ass to be eliminated from people's memories, and they don't want people to think about your ass, they can make it happen quickly. This is where we get the whole one-hit wonders thing from. They're not really one-hit wonders. A lot of these people, you ever heard certain people and then you be like, damn, why didn't they make another song? Like, they would have been at the top of the charts. They would have been, super amazing. They would have been the next Beyonce or the next this person, next that person. How did they fall off? They're not one-hit wonders. It wasn't because they only had that one song. If you know how the industry works, a person that has talent will never only have one song. You may have only written one song, but you will never have one song because they gonna start writing for you. They gonna find songs for your ass. Say, hey girl, we want you to sing this. Hey sir, go ahead, get in the studio. We need you to go ahead and lay this record. Appreciate it. Thank you. I told y'all how they have those studios in LA where it's just people who sit in fucking studio booths all day and make music. And major executives go through the studios and they pick songs and they take it back to their artists. That's what these motherfuckers do. And these are not songs like, oh, it's just a beat. Like it was back in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s when niggas was making music from scratch. No, babes. These motherfuckers got a whole song. It's already done for you. The lyrics are done. The music is done. Everything is done. All they need you to do is go in that motherfucker and put your voice on it. And sometimes they don't even need you to do that. Because technology is so advanced now, we might not even need you to sing everything. We might need you to do a couple things. But you probably don't even got to show up. Okay? So, like, the industry is spooky. Like, you can't trust nobody. Anybody who is in that industry is not worthy of being trusted 100%. And you have to look at it from that standpoint. I don't care how clean their hands look. I don't care how, above all of the drama, the issues, or whatever it is. I don't care how much you love them and how much they look like they would never do that. I don't give a fuck. Don't trust none of these motherfuckers. All of these motherfuckers have done something to get where the fuck they at. You don't just get to go sit on Shannon Sharp's new show. You don't get to do that. Especially when he's had, guests like Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer and all of these other people. And then you gotta ask yourself, the very people that Katt came and talked about are the very people that was on that show. So then you gotta say, okay, is this scripted? Because Hollyweird is scripted. So did you purposely put these people here, do these interviews, and then when the time is right, you allow this motherfucker to come out and shake the room? Because remember, they have to disclose stuff to you. They have to tell you what the fuck is going on. And it never says how. So some people, their way of paying Hollywood back is to be a whistleblower in disguise. Oh yeah, it's madness over here while they collecting the chat. You think Katt Williams ain't getting no money from doing that motherfucking interview? That damn interview got so many motherfucking views. Over 20 million motherfuckers then sat and watched that whole almost 3-hour interview. 3 hours damn near. That interview was almost 3 hours. And over 20 million people watched something that was almost 3 hours and it wasn't a movie? Come on, man. Y'all, we gotta be smarter than that. Let's see. Why are they never where they live? If I go on tour or am away from home for a long period of time, why would I go straight to an island after touring, filming? What's with that? I don't know. I honestly don't know. A lot of it doesn't make sense because some of these people have multiple clones, right? Like allegedly, like Beyonce. She's one of those people that have multiple. So you might think that she on the stage performing and doing all these motherfucking tour dates and shit, but that bitch could really be at home. Or the original clone, because she's been cloned for a very long time. The original clone could be sitting the fuck at home somewhere watching her ass on TV. Like, that's how deep that shit go. Like, think about it. No person, I don't care how much you take care of yourself, can do singing, dancing all motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying? Touring, traveling all motherfucking day for months. For months. And it don't take some type of significant toll on their bodies. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And the reason they can do it is because of the fact that they have multiple versions of them doing shit. So, for example, if Beyonce is in Africa right now doing a show, we would never fucking know. We would never know. So if she was in Africa doing a show right now and she had a show right now in Chicago, we wouldn't know to put two and two together. The same way she popped the fuck up in Dubai. Anytime you see somebody performing in Dubai, you better know what the fuck is going on. You better know what's going on. Dubai is one of them places. This is why I be saying, stop paying so much attention to fucking Hollyweird and holding yourself at the standards of these people that you see on social media. It's the reason why certain people get pushed into the algorithms for you to watch their lives and watch all the shit that they motherfucking got and all the shit they talking about. These motherfucking models and these bitches and these people who be posting all of these luxury, quote unquote, luxury items and living this type of life and traveling and doing all this shit. They be over in Dubai getting pissed on and shitted on and made to fuck animals for that chat. So before you get jealous of a bitch that's out here living a certain type of lifestyle, think about it. Would I really want to live the life that this bitch is living? Would I really want to have to do the things that are required to get the same type of check this bitch got? Okay, ask Ashanti about it. Go look and see how many times her ass done went to motherfucking Dubai. Because ain't nobody asking Ashanti to come to no motherfucking concert. She don't got no sold out tours. Be so fucking for real. She ain't selling out no motherfucking tours. It's Ashanti. What the fuck? It's not 2009. It's not 2007. Bitch, it's 2024. Ain't nobody selling out no Ashanti concert. So how do people like this sustain themselves in this industry? They go and they do weird ass shit. Wild ass shit. They come back with that motherfucking bread. And you would never fucking know. Dubai is one of the richest motherfucking places on the planet Earth. And these motherfuckers, money is not an option. So they'll fly these bitches out first class. A lot of these models, a lot of these little celebrity bitches that y'all be fondling over and falling over and all this shit, these baddies and all these other bitches that y'all be geeked up over, they get flew the fuck out, sure do. They get flued out, they get a hotel room, they get taken care of, they get shopping money, they get food money, they get all of these motherfucking things. But they also have to do shit for it. Okay, when them motherfucking men come over there and be like, hey, I see you checked in. Be ready tonight. They come pick your ass up and take you over one of, around their homeboys and bring the goat out, and you like, what the fuck is the goat doing here? Oh, you thought you was fucking me? No. I don't want that coochie. It's not about me, honey. I want to see you do it to the fucking goat. Yeah. I'm going to give you 200,000. You going home with 200,000 easy. Transfer in your bank account right here, right now. That shit is nothing. I already flew you out here. You already staying in a 5-star motherfucking hotel. You getting princess treatment. I got my drivers, shipping your ass around and taking you all these places. Oh, you about to fuck this goat. You about to motherfucking let me piss on you. Or eat feces. Or eat your own feces. That's the type of weird ass shit they be fucking doing over there. Somebody said, is that why Dubai was huge amongst YouTubers in like 2017, 2019? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dubai is always going to be one of them trips that them bitches geek over. Because you can go over there. And again, money is not an issue. Their police cars are Lamborghinis, babe. Okay? Money is not an issue over there. Money is not a motherfucking problem. The way that they live their lives, money is not an issue. It's never been an issue. So they don't care how much it costs to get you out here. They don't care how much you want. You know what I'm saying? As long as whatever you asking for matches what they need you to do, they don't give a fuck. Oh, you want 300,000? You gonna do 300,000 worth of shit? All right, cool. Bring your ass over here. Send me your information. I'll book your flight right now. Some of these motherfuckers will send a private jet to your motherfucking ass, depending on what you're doing. Okay. Someone told me that writer Stephen King was a female and not a male. I wouldn't put it past it. Like I said, most of these people are inverts. And when I say most of them, I mean most of them. 80% of these motherfuckers are not the sex that they were born as. Or not displaying themselves as the sex that they were born as. 80%. Not the same. And again, a lot of these children come out the womb and they started at that point. Like, damn, I always forget his name. I got his face in my head too. He was a guitar player. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Jimi Hendrix. If you look at Jimi Hendrix, let me see if I can pull up his baby picture. One of the oldest pictures that they have of him. And you can't fucking tell me this is a little boy. This is a childhood picture of Jimi Hendrix. Okay. So y'all can see the skirt. That's the skirt, my love. This is Jimi Hendrix. Y'all see at the bottom it says Jimi Hendrix as a child. You can type it into Google yourself. So when I say they start them young and they raise them to be what they are, so that even the fucking person is confused, even the child is confused, that's what the fuck I mean. This is why you won't see a lot of childhood pictures of a lot of these people. And if you do, some of them are altered by like AI, or you just got to be paying attention. You got to really look at that motherfucking picture. But there's no reason for, and that picture was probably taken in like the 60s, the 70s. Jimi Hendrix is pretty old at this point, or would have been pretty old. So why would he be in a skirt? Like, it's not a kilt. Is he not, doing no traditional dance? Exactly. That's a motherfucking girl. And this is the type of shit that they do. This is why you won't see a lot of celebrity baby pictures. You're not going to see it. And a lot of people think, oh, because I went to school with this person and, I seen them in the locker room or whatever, you think that you know what's going on. But if you start giving a little boy, estrogen from the time that they're young as shit, their bodies are not going to develop the normal characteristics that a man's body would. The only thing you could still go by is their skeletal structure. Their head is still going to be the same. That's why I told y'all pay attention to skulls. Their collarbones are going to be the same. That's why I say pay attention to that shit. That gap in between their legs is going to be the same. There's nothing they can do about that. You can't close that gap because that goes by the structure of your bones. There's a lot of stuff that just would not be the same, or would not be different, right? But when it comes to the voice, when it comes to having titties, y'all gotta remember, men have breast tissue, but because they have a lot of testosterone, they don't need to develop it any bigger than normal chest because they don't have milk ducts. The whole reason that we have our boobs grow out the way that they do is because they have milk ducts. And that's literally just so you can feed a baby. That's it. That's why men have titties and they got a nipple, but it don't look like ours. Now there are some men who do grow breast naturally. There are, right? So it shows that the possibility is there, right? I've seen a lot of men who may not even be big. They don't have to necessarily be big boys, but they got they titties look like titties. They nipples look like women's nipples. Like it's a little different, right? And that's just based on, number one, it can start from childhood just based on how much estrogen you have in your system as a child or your estrogen levels. But also a lot of this fucking food that we eat is causing niggas to grow titties out and be feminine and a whole bunch of shit that is just fucking up the game. Okay, so a lot of these people, they start giving, like not Angelina Jolie, I think Angelina Jolie and a couple of these other white celebrities, how they will go and adopt black kids and then turn the boys into girls and girls into boys. It's the same shit. The only difference now is they're not hiding it as much with the children who are children at this point in the industry, or who are the children of the people in the industry. They're not hiding it, right? So that's why you can see some of these celebrities, the adopted children, they always like to adopt black kids, but a lot of these adopted children are not being raised as the sex that they were born as, right? So that's their way of showing you, like, we not new to this, we true to this. The confusion started early. You think Jimi Hendrix knew that he was a motherfucking girl? For long? If at all? Hell no. They raised his ass to be a boy. And then you can go get mastectomies. You can go get all types of shit. They put them kids through surgery all the time and don't give a fuck about it. Okay? They put their ass right through surgery and not give a fuck about it. Will not care. That's why Orlando Brown be saying shit like, oh yeah, them my aunties. My auntie Shalonda and my auntie this and my auntie that. Because he's telling y'all these motherfuckers are inverts. He's telling y'all to your face, this is who this is. This is who that is. This is what it is. Period. Our job is to pay attention. That's our only job. Pay attention and take heed. Pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to what they're saying. Pay attention to how they're moving. Again, we haven't officially crossed over into 2024, right? The official crossover for 2024 will be March 21st, because that's when we get back into the spring season, which, lets us know that we are in a new season, a new cycle, right? Because things are beginning at that point, right? But right now, I would say we're in what we call a shadow period. So shadow periods are just as important as the actual cycles that we are moving into, because they basically are giving you a taste of what to expect. So this shadow period, again, will last until the 21st, and then we'll officially cross over into 2024. But we're already getting a taste of what to expect this year. And again, please pay attention. Pay attention to everything. Question everything. I don't care who it is giving an interview. I don't care how much you like them or you feel like you trust them. You don't trust no motherfucking body. You know them people just as well as you know a stranger on the street. Just because you read some documentation, and you think like, no. Okay, just don't get caught up in the whole celebrity thing. If you realize the whole celebrity thing is dying anyway. Like the people who we would probably consider celebrities at this point don't even have shit to do with Hollyweird. It's motherfuckers looking up to people who doing YouTube and people who doing TikTok videos. They're more of a fucking celebrity now in 2024, 2023 than any of these motherfuckers that have been in movies and shit. So the whole ideology behind the entertainment industry, the whole energy behind the entertainment industry is shifting and it's changing and it's developing into something different. And it's like, you either recognize what the fuck is going on and you take heed, you start paying attention, you start moving different, you start, doing what you need to do, or you put all your faith and your trust in these motherfuckers who sign contracts to confuse you, to distract you. Okay. So, Love and Light, hopefully y'all got something from this. I went a little over an hour, but fuck it. Definitely go back and research everything that I've said. Don't take nothing that I said for face value. Don't even trust what I say. Okay, trust what you see with your own eyes. Go research all of the stuff that I've talked about. Don't expect, let me say this when you're researching, don't expect to find everything that I'm saying just from a simple Google search. Okay, some of this shit is rabbit hole information, meaning you have to go down the rabbit hole. And sometimes going down the rabbit hole can take months, it can take weeks, sometimes it can take fucking years. Okay, you just have to be committed to the process and committed to the truth. And I'm committed to the truth. I'm not committed to people. I'm committed to truth, because truth is always going to be what it is. People come and go and do what the fuck they want to do, but truth going to always be motherfucking truth. So, whatever I know, I will always share with y'all. Definitely go back and research it. Don't just, like I said, take it for face value just because I said it. Don't trust me that much. For real. And that's not to say I'm not trustworthy, but it's just to say, don't rely on my word over your intuition. Don't do that. Go research your own shit. Pay attention to what the fuck you see, okay? Because you may pick up on something that I haven't picked up on, or you may see something from a perspective that I haven't seen it from, right? And I'm the type of person where I'm always changing truth, because truth is based on the knowledge that we know. It's based on what we know at that time. So what was true for me 2 weeks ago may not be true for me today, right? And a part of this process is moving with the flow of the process. Don't get committed to one specific truth. If you researching something and it's saying something one way and then you come across some new information that's saying it another way, it's okay to change your mind, right? Don't think being spiritual means that you got to stick to one thing and you just got to drive it home no matter what. Real spiritual people are open to truth. So whenever the truth is revealed, we're going to go in that direction. Doesn't matter what the fuck we was before. Once truth shows up, we gonna go ride with truth. Okay? And that's just what it is. Also, don't allow, a lot of people in while you are doing a lot of research, because people's opinions will deter you from seeing things the way that they are or the way that you need to. In the beginning, when I had a lot of stuff I was researching, I made the mistake of sharing it with certain people who weren't quote unquote woke or ready or aware, and it made me question a lot of stuff that I know that I saw and that I know I understood. And it just made the process a lot more harder, because now you're combating against people, and you're finding out all of this crazy ass shit at the same time, and it just makes it extra complicated for no reason. So be okay with doing your research and all of that, with yourself. Now, if you have people in your space who also be on this type of time, then definitely have conversations with them. You know what I'm saying? Definitely feel free to share what you learned or the information you came across, and so on and so forth. But if it's people who are sheep, motherfuckers who vaccinated, motherfuckers who love these celebrities and watch baddies and Zeus Network all motherfucking week, baby, don't waste your time, okay? Because those are people who are still caught up in the illusion, and you just gotta let their ass be illuminated on their own time. So, light and love, again, hopefully y'all got something from this. I will see your beautiful faces tomorrow, and you will see mine. We will do our Wisdom Wednesday and get into that. Thursday night, we will be back on Throne Talk, my other podcast. with Empress A, Empress Amber. We will be discussing pretty privilege on Thursday. Does it exist? Is it real? How can you get pretty privilege? What ways to go about it? All of those different things. So definitely make sure that y'all tune in 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Throne Talk. Go ahead and subscribe. It is posted in on my social media pages. So if you follow me on social media, you can definitely go find it. Or if you're on YouTube right now, obviously because you're watching me, just type in Throne Talk and it's a green logo and you'll see it. You'll see my face. But light and love to all of you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself and go do some research.